The crisis in Southern Kaduna is far from abating. Attacks and reprisal attacks have claimed the lives of hundreds of people there. Efforts by both the federal and state governments to put a stop to senseless killings there have not yielded much results. Security operatives have been deployed to Southern Kaduna to quell the violence. Traditional rulers are being engaged to mediate between warring communities. But how soon will Nigerians see an end to the crisis in Southern Kaduna that have persisted for decades? Well, joining me via Skype from Kaduna State is Executive Vice Chairman, Kaduna State Peace Commission, Priscilla Ankut. Thank you for joining us on TVC Midday News.
Thank you for having me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon once again. Now, there was a peace pact signed recently in Zango Kataf. If we were to look at that critically, first, how much support is the government or commission, your end, are we going to see with regards to this peace pact? And do you have concerns with regards to that? Because this is not the first time we are seeing efforts like this.
Thank you. Yes, as a peace commission, we're really delighted that the chief, His Royal Highness Watiab, was able to lead that process that led to the resolutions by the various communities on peaceful coexistence. What that has shown us yet again is that the traditional institution has proved to be a source of resilience and stability. And as a peace commission, we will harness this potential and support the process in several ways. The first thing we will do is to support the local process by establishing the peace platform. If you look carefully at the resolutions that were reached at that meeting, there was a clear intention to establish a platform that will enable the community to sustain the dialogues. So we will be supporting them to sustain the dialogues. We will be supporting them to ensure that the platform remains inclusive, it remains coordinated, and that it remains an accountable platform for peace and security in the area. We will be building their capacity to conduct mediation, monitoring existing tensions in the community, and empower them to be able to report on local disputes in ways that they don't necessarily have to escalate into violence in the area. And when they're able to do this, you would see that they will be strongly contributing to the early warning functions in the state. We will continue to make this effort. I think one of the things we would like to point out as a commission is that, beyond the short-term focus of repressing violence in the area, and in this case, Tiap Chiefdom in Zangwankata local government area, there would be a need for these dialogue platforms to continue to address the root causes that continue to drive violence in those communities. And we believe strongly that with sustained platforms like the one we have in Etiap Chiefdom, with capacity well built, there would be stronger accountability mechanisms, and communities will have the safe space to continue to discuss issues that bother them, dictate tensions early, and enable prompt action.
All right, I'll have to quickly interrupt you here. Now, you mentioned something about ensuring that the platform remains accountable, an accountability platform. How do you intend to achieve this?
The first thing is really how do we ensure that this platform is reflective of the multiple stakeholders that are in the area. It embraces the diversity in the area, which means that all communities, Tiap, Hausa, Fulani, belong in the platform and feel safe in that platform. The security agencies key into the platform as one of the sources of information, and that the youth and women groups and all vulnerable groups are represented in that platform. Now, when you have multiple stakeholders represented in the platform, there is a natural process of information sharing that will take place, and this will then ensure the accountability, particularly between the communities, traditional leaders, religious leaders, and the security agencies in the area. Let me also add that there's a lot of civil society organizations in the area that also are working for peace, and they will be part of this platform as well. And this will strengthen the accountability mechanisms that we have at that level.
Your commission had been set up since 2017 with regards to addressing issues of perhaps community violence and addressing it at the root. Are you concerned that the commission has, over the years, with the continuous level of violence that we have witnessed, has not been able to achieve that? What really has been the challenge?
Well, I think first and foremost, we have to understand that the peace building is a process. It's not a one-off event, and therefore, process will not be able to resolve all the issues that we have. The second thing is that what we are looking to strengthen are platforms and mechanisms and processes that allow people to engage in conversations and address their challenges without necessarily resorting to violence. I mean, conflict itself is part of every society. It continues to happen. But what we try to avoid is that issues that bother communities escalate into violence. We do not want violence happening, and these platforms will ensure that we de-escalate tensions on time and reduce the violence. And, the Commission has had quite a bit of success in the communities that we have been engaging over time. And let me say that the Commission actually supports community-led efforts which build bottom to up to resolve the challenges that we have. If you look at, for example, our interventions in Kajuru local, where the Commission has been able to sustain dialogue, you would see that gradually we're witnessing stabilization in the area. There would still be issues to discuss bordering on the root causes of those violence that keep occurring. But those will have to be addressed using the appropriate channels. We have made quite a bit of success also if you see the Commission's interventions in Kaura local government area, where we are discussing between the Atakat and the Ganawuri communities in Riom local government of Plateau State. Again, we are sustaining dialogues in this area, and very recently we have witnessed de-escalation of tensions. So there are community-level initiatives that are succeeding, supported by the Peace Commission and other stakeholders. There are other structural drivers of violence and conflict in the state that will have to be addressed using appropriate channels going forward.
Now, what mechanisms have been put in place to ensure that the rule of law is followed to the latter and justice is seen to be done, especially for those who have lost perhaps property and loved ones over the years with regards to this crisis?
First and foremost, it's really regrettable that we have lost as many lives as we have lost as a result of this crisis. And our thoughts, our hearts are constantly with those who have suffered the worst impact of this violence. We continue to encourage communities, individuals, groups to recourse to the law and try as much as possible to use legal channels to redress their challenges rather than recoursing to violence. I know that there are several conversations to be had around the security, the efforts of the security agencies in this regard, as well as the administration of criminal justice system in this regard, and how they would help communities to continue to have confidence in the rule of law and to continue to recourse to law. And these are happening. The third thing is to continue to reinforce the message that all lives matter and that no one should take the life of another, and that there should be respect for human rights across board, and that the concerns for justice, for equalities, whatever grievances people have, can be addressed using other channels that are not necessarily violent in nature. And as a Peace Commission, we have created these platforms and these safe spaces. We have engaged multiple stakeholders at community and state level. We will continue to do so, certainly, because this is a growing concern. peace building, like I said, is a process. And the more we engage various actors, the more we are likely to find common solutions to the common problems that are affecting us in the state. But we are determined as a peace commission and as a state to break the legacy of violence and find other ways of resolving our challenges, which, by the way, are not unique to Kaduna State. Challenges
all right,
are
we have to leave the conversation here now. Executive Vice Chairman, Kaduna State Peace Commission, Priscilla Ankut, thank you for your time on the news.
Thank you. Thank you.